EmceeTV.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy, that motherfucker Steve. You watching EmceeTV, the podcast. And this morning, I got an extra special guest. I got the homie DJ SkyKrow coming in live. What's up, bro?
Go.
How you doing, homie?
Pretty good, man.
Nice. Man, I appreciate you jumping on the pod with me this morning. Ray wasn't able to be here this morning, but we had an extra special guest coming through. So, yeah, man, it's a pleasure having you on. Where you streaming in from, bro?
I'm streaming in from my studio in Waterloo, Iowa.
That's what's up. Man, it's supposed to be hotter than a motherfucker today.
It's like fucking 90 out there, man.
Yeah, already, and it's only 11 o'clock in the morning, so it's gonna be a hot one today. It's gonna be hot.
Oh yeah.
Well, shit. Let's just get right into it, bro. How'd you first get into music?
I've been doing music my whole life ever since I was a kid. I had one of those Casio pianos, back in the day, and so I've always been playing piano. And then I went from playing piano to playing guitar. Guitar Hero got me into guitar, and then because of Guitar Hero, they made DJ Hero, and DJ Hero got me into DJing. So turns out video games will get you into real instruments.
That's dope. Okay, so now what kind of role do you play? You kind of play a lot of different roles, but let's dive into that a little bit. Let's talk to the viewers, especially the folks that don't know anything about you or kind of just first getting tuned on to you. What kind of role do you play in the Iowa music scene?
Well, most of the time I'm the DJ for shows. I started out as a rapper, and then I transitioned into DJing when COVID hit, because shows were getting shut down, but I was able to secure a couple tours that I tour DJ'd for. I tour DJ'd for Twistello and Godimus during COVID. So when that all went down, I was like, well, this rap shit ain't getting me anywhere right now, but this DJing, I just went on 2 tours in 1 year, and it was COVID, so it was like extra hard to do tours during that time. But that transitioned me into DJing, and so now most people know me as a DJ around here. But I also have a studio and I produce and all that stuff. So some people know me for that as well.
Okay. Let's talk about that a little bit. So you got a solo career as an MC, but then you also do some stuff with Sinister Carney, right?
Yeah. I'm usually Sinister Carney's hype man when he does shows. We have a couple songs together, but a lot of times I'm his hype man. I produce him, so he'll bring beats and stuff to my studio, or I'll bring the studio to him usually and record all of his stuff for him and mix and master and all that.
That's what's up. So you do the mobile studio. You come all the way down here to record in Iowa, and then take it back home and mix and master it and everything.
Yeah, well, I'm in Iowa too. I'm in Waterloo, Iowa.
Yeah. My bad. I meant
all over Iowa. Yeah. I travel with my studio.
And then I just talked to you yesterday, and where were you at yesterday?
I was in Lawrence, Kansas yesterday. I had a show going on at Elmo's Tavern.
This motherfucker is always moving and grooving, bro. I tell you what, you can't keep track of him.
He said, "What are you doing in Kansas? What the?"
Yeah.
That's a little far away from you.
No shit, right? How was it down there?
It was pretty decent. It was a pretty decent show. It was a decent turnout, especially for Elmo's. Elmo's is like a smaller bar kind of venue, so it's pretty good turnout.
That's what's up. So was it a hip hop show, or were you just
yeah, it was a rap show. I did my rap set. I'm trying to kind of get around and do rap stuff more because I'm working on an album. So I figure if I want to tour the album, I need to actually go to the places I'm trying to tour in, and so I've been doing a lot of stuff in Kansas. I started doing some stuff in Wisconsin as well.
Okay, that's dope. I didn't realize you was working on an album, so we got an exclusive right there. Let's dig in on that a little bit. How far are you into it?
I pretty much have like 85% of the album done. I'm just waiting back for I think 2 features, and then I need to make 2 songs that I want to do for the album. But I've been kind of holding off on those because I'm not sure what I want to do with them, and I have the excuse of I don't have the features back, so I can just procrastinate.
All right. So if you were had to kind of classify the album, what kind of is it? Like a boom bap hip hop album? Is it like a grimy street album? Like what kind of stuff are you talking about?
It's gonna be partially like a storytelling album. So I do pretty much every subgenre of rap. I actually like to intentionally do different subgenres for each song I do. I try to do something I haven't done before because I want people to listen to the music for me and not for the genre. I don't want to be somebody that does the same genre for every song. Like that works for certain people, but that's not going to be me. So I want people to listen for me because they're here for me. They're not here for that genre. So maybe there might be, you know, one particular song that somebody likes that genre and that's the only song of mine that they like, and I'm totally fine with that outcome. But if I don't do different genres, then I'm stuck in one genre, and then people are only going to ever know me for that. So then if I ever try to do something different, it's going to be harder to get people to move over. Whereas if I'm selling me instead of selling the music, then that makes it more likely people will tune into every song that I make.
Okay, I'll rock with that. Okay, so and how many tracks are you thinking are going to be on this project? You got a title for it?
Yes, it's going to be Phoenix Rising. My first album was called Birth of the SkyKrow, so the next one's going to be Phoenix Rising, and the storytelling is going to start out basically from where the last album left off at, and then there's going to be like a like a Phoenix breakdown in the middle where there's going to be where, you know, the what's that that line ubiquitous says a phoenix resurrects, yes, but first it has to burn, or something like that. And so there's going to be a section in the middle where there's going to be some like self-destructive type of song going on where the Phoenix has to break down before it can become reformed. And then that's going to be the next song. After that song will be Phoenix Rising, is where, well, actually I have a song called Firestarter. And then after that, it'll be Phoenix Rising. So the album will kind of play out. It'll be one of those albums where you want to play in order because it'll be intentionally, each song will be put exactly where it needs to be. So like Firestarter will be the song. And then the song after that is Phoenix Rising, because you have to start the fire before the Phoenix can rise. Right. So it's all very deliberate and intentional on the order of the songs, but it's going to be a storytelling song of where I started, where I left off on my last album, and kind of going through what's happened up to now, because it's been 6 years since I dropped that album. So it's been quite a long journey. A lot of stuff has happened in that time. And so a lot of the songs are going to touch on that type of stuff. Like the song I have pulled up right now is a song I just released called Mask Off, Take It Off. It's a fuck COVID song. And so that's going to be in that kind of section. It's going to be towards the middle, right before the major Phoenix breakdown goes on.
Okay. That's dope, bro, that you put that much thought into it, and you know what I mean? Like you've got a whole rollout, you know what I mean? Like everything's strategic. It's going to be in like a certain listening order, and
Yep.
yeah, you gotta send a warning out to the shuffle play motherfuckers. Turn off shuffle play. Turn off shuffle play. You go fuck up the whole story.
Yeah, well, each song will be good on its own standalone. Like it's not set up in a way like some albums are where you have to listen to them in order. The songs themselves will all be perfectly enjoyable. Like you could listen to the album out of order and you'll just be like, oh, these are cool songs. But if you listen to it in order, then you'll be like, oh, there's a story being told here. Everything's in this particular order for a certain reason.
There we go. I think it said no air on my little thing over here. I had to turn it around. It says on air. Okay, so that's dope. So those, you can still drop them as independent singles and whatnot, and it'll.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing leading up to that, is starting to drop singles. I dropped this one in April. I'm going to be dropping my next single called Culture Vulture probably in the next couple weeks. The only thing I got to do for that one is the artwork, and then I got to like fix up the mix a little bit. I've changed up the way I mixed probably like 3 times since I started making that song. So I now need to go and update it to the current way that I mix things. So that way it's uniform on the album. The singles are going to probably be slightly different than the album versions, just because when I submit the album, I have to resubmit all those songs. So some of the songs are going to have some touched up mixes on them. Because by the time I get the whole album out, I'll probably have it refined a little bit better the way I want to do it.
Sure. Who do you go through for releasing digital music? Who's your favorite?
Right now, I'm on CD Baby.
Okay. Nice.
Eventually, I'm gonna get a white label, but that costs money. That costs like a couple $100 a month to get a white label. So we're working on that one. But
What's a white
that's
label? I'm not real familiar with that.
a white label. So a white label is it's a food term, but you can use it. It's used in the music industry too. So a white label is, you know, when you see like Mr. Beast's Kitchen, and it's really just a Perkins, but they just name it Mr. Beast's Kitchen. That's what a white label is. It's where you take a food that's already being produced somewhere else and you just slap your label on it. So like you know, when you go to Walmart and they've got like Dr. Thunder Walmart brand Dr. Pepper, or you go to, you know, Kroger or Hy-Vee or anywhere, and they've got their own brand. Those are probably more than likely white labels, where they just took like an already existing formula from someone else and just put their like company logo on it, essentially.
Sure, kind of like a generic version of something or whatever. You know what I mean?
Not necessarily generic, but they're essentially paying to have they're essentially paying to like steal the recipe or to cheat or whatever, or to say it's theirs. It's not right, like a ghostwriting type of thing, right? Like where art like all of Dre's songs, like, yeah, totally, this is a Dre song, but really we all know that Eminem was writing most of that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. It's kind of like a ghostwriting. That's like the best way to put it in music terms. Is it's like you're saying that this is yours, but really on the back end it's somebody else's. So with a white label distribution, it'll show up like, you know, on YouTube it'll be like distributed by CD Baby or whatever. White label, it'll say distributed by, and then you can put whatever your name is. But on the back end, it's an actual like a whole website that takes care of the distribution for you, and they just let you say that you're doing it, essentially.
And that's all done through CD Baby as well?
No, it's a white labels are separate companies. There's all kinds of them. They all have their own like benefits. There's some that are like $30, $40, $50 a month, and then there's some that are like $300-$400 a month. And so it just kind of depends on what you want.
Sure.
And the thing with those is, with the white labels, you usually get more percentage. So usually distributors take a percentage. But with the white labels, you get more percentage, but then you're paying more. So usually you only get a white label if you're like a startup label company, like a mid-level, like a Wakan or something. I'm sure you know Wakan. That's a EDM label. Or like a Strange Music, right? Like a Strange Music would probably have a white label distribution so that they can have it say, you know, distributed by Strange Music on everything. But they didn't, you know, make that infrastructure from scratch. They're probably using a white label, is my guess.
Yeah, they go through Fontana out of California, which is a subsidiary of Universal Music Group, I believe.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so that's probably set up like a white label is, where they get to claim it's them distributing it, but on the back end it's like a separate company that does all the deals and stuff. Because I can't imagine that they've got the time to go reach out to, you know, 500 different companies and set up all those deals manually do that. And that's what the white labels are for, is for when you're at that like mid-level or higher level, where you know, like Odyssey Records, you know, Odyssey Records they have enough artists on the roster and they make enough money off the music that they can afford to pay $300 or $400 a month to have a white label, to have their name specifically on all the distribution, and to potentially get a bigger percentage of the cut.
Sure. I think I go through DistroKid right now, but I was looking at this new Lander one that they keep promoting. Lander's supposed to be pretty good. I haven't dug into it super tough, but I was looking at some pros and cons for it the other day, and it piques my interest. I'm thinking about messing with it.
Yeah, I need to look into all the distributors now, because I'm starting to get into artist management. And one of the things I'm going to do with the management is I'm not going to necessarily put everyone on the same thing I'm on. I'm going to let them pick and choose whatever they want to do for distribution. I'm going to give them my professional opinion on what I think the best option is for them. So for somebody who's releasing like every 2 weeks to every month, they're probably going to want DistroKid over CD Baby, because DistroKid's a lot cheaper if you're releasing a lot of stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas with the CD Baby, you pay one time and then you just have lifetime membership, and then you have to pay for releases, but they're the same thing as immortalizing is in DistroKid. So like my first one came out 6 years ago, and that's all still there, and I didn't have to pay a dime for it to stay on there for 6 years. Whereas like with DistroKid, you got to keep paying every year. And so I'll see a lot of people's music, their old stuff just disappears. It's like, what the hell happens? Like, oh, I don't know, my card got expired or something on DistroKid. It's like, well, that sucks to be you.
So you pay one time with CD Baby and then you never have to pay again?
You pay one time for the membership, so it's like I think it was like 150 for the membership, and then you don't have to pay membership fees ever again. So you don't have to pay the like whatever DistroKid charges a year. You don't have to pay any of that stuff, and then you just have to pay for the releases. But the releases are all the equivalent to DistroKid's immortalizing. So you just pay like I think it was like $10 for a regular release, or you can pay like $30 to get like some extra boosted release of some kind. That you get some like extra analytics or something like that. I can't remember what the boosted is, but it's only like $30, which is like the same thing as immortalizing is for a single. And then I think it's like 50 for an album to do. I think it's like 30 if you do the standard and 50 if you do the like fancy pantsy one to release a whole album. But it's like it's comparable to DistroKid. So when I was like weighing the pros and cons 6 years ago, you know, I was like, well, I could pay one time or I could pay all the time. And I was like, I don't want to keep paying for something that, because I'm not the kind of person to release all the time.
Sure.
When I'm working on stuff, like I would probably release an album a year type frequency if COVID hadn't happened. But that's why I'm trying to get back into releasing music now, is so I can get into that like one a year album.
I got a plethora of music sitting on the back burner that I got to get finished up, but I'm definitely gonna get it rocking.
I got like 20 songs right now that are done.
Yeah, I got a nice little batch for Back to Bars Volume 2 that I'm gonna start dropping, and then Ray and I have a project coming up called A Field of Dreamers that we're getting ready to release. That has the who's who of Iowa rap on it, basically, and
nice.
It's a phenomenal project. Yeah, and I'm not just saying that because I produced it all, but it's I mean the lyricism and everything that everybody did on it is on another level. So it's
yeah,
fun. Excuse me. Okay, so all right, so you DJ, you rap, you do artist management. And then you also do some video work. Let's talk about that a little bit, homie.
Yeah, well, as you can see, this feed looks a little bit cleaner than what most of the other interviews probably look like, and that's because I have it streaming from my 4K camera right now.
Okay. Yeah, you're coming in nice and crispy. How did you get into that? What brought you over to the dark side with the camera business?
So I've always wanted to do like music videos for myself, and it's very cost prohibitive to do music videos. It's usually like a couple $100s to a couple thousand. And so I was like, well, I want to do music videos, but it costs a lot of money. I was like, well, I could just buy the camera and just do it myself. And I was like, well, that also aligns with my vision for starting a label. Is I feel like if you're going to be a label, there's a lot of labels, especially in Iowa, but I've seen them all over because I DJ all over. There's these labels that'll just be a group of friends, but they're not really doing label shit. They're just they're just a group of friends that says they're a label. And my vision for a label is that the label should provide everything for you. You should not have to go anywhere else for other than maybe like merchandising. You know, you're gonna have to probably go somewhere else. Like there's not very many labels. Like Strange makes their own merch, but there's not very many labels that are doing stuff like that. So normally you would have to outsource for that, but otherwise anything from the recording to the videos to, like the touring, you should be able to provide all that stuff for the artist if you're going to be a label. So if I'm going to feel that way, then I should be acting that way. So I went ahead and bought a camera so I can do music videos and learn how to do some editing. Like I hate editing, but I know how to do it, at least enough to do music videos. In worst case scenario, if I have to outsource editing, that's like not as big of a deal as having to outsource a whole production crew to shoot the video. It's a lot easier to just send all the files to one guy, be like, hey, fix this up, make it look nice.
Sure.
But yeah, that's why I bought the camera for, is because I want to eventually have a label. And so in order for me to do that and to fit the vision I need, I want to be able to provide everything like free of charge. Like don't charge the artist, because a lot of bigger studios or not studios, but like bigger labels, they'll be like, yeah, we'll shoot your videos, but it's gonna be $20,000 on the advance. And I don't want to run my business that way. I want to, if an artist is coming to my label, I'm benefiting from them making music without having to do anything. So I think that I should be providing a service to them so that they have a reason to come to me. And part of that service would be, if you need a music video, we have all the equipment. We'll just shoot the music video here. Maybe we have to pay for like crew, like if there's crew salaries or something, or if we have to get extra people for a shoot because it's a bigger shoot, then that's like way less money than having to pay for a whole production crew and then charging the artist that, because I don't think you should charge the artist for stuff like that.
Okay, I fuck with it. I fuck with it. Hey, if you're just tuning in, it's your boy, that motherfucker Steve. You watching EmceeTV, the podcast. We got my dude SkyKrow, and he's giving us his blueprint on his plans for an upcoming label, and we're just kind of talking about his story and everything that he's got going on. So, I mean, you got a lot of different plans. You got a lot going on. I'm impressed, bro. I'm impressed. You're definitely trying to knock it out, and you're making moves. You know what I mean? You're steady out there traveling. I see you at a lot of the shows that I'm at where you're getting footage. You know what I mean? You're doing the damn thing. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah, yep. I gotta build out my portfolio. I have over 1,000 pictures in my portfolio right now, and I've only had my camera since 2021, and I really didn't start shooting until 2022 because I got it towards the end of 2021, and I had to mess around and learn how the thing actually worked. And I found out that, so I have what's called a speed booster. And I found out the speed booster actually has its own updates, which is really weird because it's just a little piece of glass. But for some reason, that little piece of glass has electronics going on, and the electronics have updates. And I didn't know that. So I buy the camera, get the speed booster, put the lens on, and I can't adjust settings on the lens. I can't adjust the certain things. I can't adjust the focal length, right? So it's stuck at 1.2. You can't see shit at 1.2. So I was like, oh, I don't know if I just don't understand this camera stuff or what. So I go look into it, and they're like, oh yeah, that speed booster has an update. You have to update it to the same firmware as the camera so the camera can actually read it. And so I look on this little thin piece of glass, like as thin as your phone almost, and it's got a little USB port on the side. I was like, what the hell? I didn't even notice this shit was down here. And so I had to update a little piece of glass to get my camera shit to work. And so I was like, damn, man, imagine if I had just been going this whole time shooting like that, not even knowing. I was like, man, I was wondering why my shit was always so blurry. I just couldn't figure it out. And then I finally looked into it, and so I was like, okay, now it's time to get serious. I gotta actually learn how to do this, because that would have been a big fuck up if I would have just been shooting at everything at 1.2. I'm like, man, this shit looks crisp, but I can't see anything.
All right, so break it down for folks that aren't camera people, that aren't technical. What does a speed booster do? Where does it go? How do you install it?
So it goes in between. It goes in between the camera and the lens, and normally what it does is it gives you a wider range that you can see on the camera, so it kind of like zooms in the camera a little bit, so to say. And so I got it mostly because it's as a converter. I didn't really care for the speed boosting part of it necessarily, but I just needed it for the converter part. But it's kind of a kill two birds with one stone thing, where it's like, well, you could pay the same amount of money for just a converter, or you can get one that will give you more zoom. And so I was like, okay, well, I'd rather just get the one that has more zoom. And so I got that. But the focal length or whatever, what that has to do with the iris is so you know how you can like pretty clearly see the background behind me, it's decently crisp. So if I brought it in for, it's at like 2.0 right now, so if I brought it into 1.2, the background would be really blurry, like what you see on like YouTubers where their like background is all blurred out and you can only see their face. That's because they have that focal length set to like a really low number, like a 1.8 or something really low like that. And so mine can go all the way to 1.2, which is pretty crazy low, but that's because the lens I have already can go to 1.8 just out of the gate. So it can go all the way down to 1.2 with the speed booster. So I can basically make it to where my face is clear and my tie is blurry. Like if I really wanted to, I can make it like that, where it's like that clean, kind of like when you see like photography, like really professional photography, where they'll have the person is perfectly clear and crisp, and then everything in the background is blurry, and that has to do with the focal length.
Sure. Okay, cool. All right, so from here, all right, let's start here. Who were some of the people that you listened to when you first got into music?
When I first got into music, that was definitely metal and a little bit of electronic, but mostly metal, and then some like classical piano music because I had that Casio. So I just like by virtue of playing on the Casio, it has classical music on it. So I've just always liked classical music. and it sounds nice, and you don't have vocals, so you don't have to worry about somebody ruining a song with their shitty vocal.
All right, so how old are you, and what year is this? Just for because not everybody knows how old you are. So
Oh,
kind of
I'm 31. That's 2025. I'm 31. So
okay.
it was like 20 plus years ago when I had that Casio. So when I was listening to metal, that's why I've got these Slipknot bottles here. I purchased them because I'm a fan of Slipknot. So
Got the
I
number 9.
purchased their alcohol. I got both the bottles. I got their number 9 here. I got the fancy pantsy one, and then I got the layman one here.
Shout out Slipknot.
Yeah. Shout out Slipknot. It's hard to live in Iowa and not know who Slipknot is. So we got that on the because I've been a fan of them since the 2000s. So that's where my start came from, which is why all my music is all rough and raspy and fry screens and all that type of stuff. So that comes from having a background of having metal music be the foundation of music for me, other than the classical. And then like typical radio music. When you're in the 2000s, there wasn't Spotify, so you listen to music on the radio. So I would just pick up random pop and
top
R&B and stuff. Yeah, top 40s type stuff. So I know a lot of top 40s from the 2000s, but other than that, it was mostly metal growing up. And then what got me into like rap and hip hop, because I used to not like rap and hip hop at all, because in the 2000s it was all bitches and money, and that was the vibe. And
you don't like bitches 2000s. And you don't like money?
I mean, I do now, but not when I was like a youngster. I was definitely listening to metal. I was like, dude, this bitches and hoes shit is not it. That's too ratchet for me. So I just never listened to hip hop except for like Eminem every once in a while. I'm like, oh yeah, 2 trailer park girls go rap me outside. That was like the only rap I listened to for a long time.
Okay.
And then this game comes out called Afro Samurai, and this guy Augustus the Elephant, he goes by Pharaoh now, but he was going by Augustus the Elephant. He did like half the songs in the soundtrack, and it was just, I had never heard like actual rippity rappity hip hop before. I'd only ever heard the bitches to hoes stuff.
You say
like,
rippity rappity, you mean like backpack rap, like people that can bar out, super lyrical.
Yeah, not necessarily just that, but it was like the content he was talking about had substance to it. It wasn't just money and bitches and hoes and stuff like that. There was actual substance in what he was talking about, and a lot of the songs, since they tied in with the game and with Afro Samurai as a whole, there was like a story being told in the song too, and so it aligned with the game. And so I'm playing the game and I'm hearing these songs. I was like, wow, this is a really good song. I think I might actually like this. That's kind of crazy because I didn't listen to rap at all before playing that game. That was in 2010. So, but then I was still playing guitar primarily during that time, so I was actually making like covers to some of this stuff. And then that really launched me into like starting to listen to rap and hip hop a little bit more. But I didn't really start getting into it until after I had gotten into like senior year of high school. And then I really started like kind of getting into it and catching up on lost time, so to say. But yeah, that got me started on hip hop, is listening to something with substance. If I had never played Afro Samurai, I don't know if I would be doing the stuff I'm doing right now, and especially not in rap.
Okay. So what console was Afro Samurai on?
I think it was on everything that was current gen at the time. So it was on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, I think is what was current at the time. I had it on Xbox 360. Xbox is my console of choice. My roommates have PlayStations, and I was more of an Xbox person back in the day, and I still am today. So I can't fuck with that PlayStation. The PS5 controller looks good, but all the controllers before the PS5, I just feel like I'm holding like a Fisher Price controller. Them things feel like they're gonna break any second.
So I just looked up Afro Samurai. It says Afro Samurai is an action video game for the PS3 and Xbox 360, loosely based on the manga and anime series of the same name. It was announced in the February 2008 issue of Play magazine and released on January 27th, 2009. I missed this one. I don't think I ever played this one. It looks pretty dope, though.
It's a fantastic game. It's just an action game. Do you know anything about Afro Samurai at all?
No. Just bringing it up was the very first time I ever heard of it.
It's a fantastic anime. But the game is, if you were gonna get into it, because the anime and a movie is a lot to get into, especially with us doing music, we're all very busy. The game is easier to kind of parse, and the game kind of explains everything to you in like a short term, or in like in a shorthand. So with it having an anime and a movie and stuff, there's a lot of story going on, but the game kind of breaks it down for you in like a 10 to 20 hour form. So you can get the whole story of Afro Samurai in that 10 to 20 hours essentially. But it's like a action type of game, like a beat 'em up almost. And you just go around as Afro Samurai, just cutting up dudes and trying to get the #1 headband because you're the #2 headband, and everyone's trying to kill you because you're the #2 headband. So #1 sending his guys to kill #2 because there can't be competition. So it's kind of like the was like the rule of 2 in the Sith, except there's only one. There can only be one Highlander rules. So the whole game is assassins trying to kill you because you're the #2 headband.
That's kind of cool. I've never heard of this. I just dropped
it's great.
I just dropped the graphic on the screen here. It looks like it's a they have a newer version that just came out. It didn't just came out, but like so it started in 2008 or whatever it said. But it looks like an episodic sequel was announced in June 2015 called Afro Samurai 2: Revenge of Kuma. Volume
Oh yeah,
1.
they canceled that shit.
Oh, okay, so that one never
I was sad about that. They canceled it. But yeah, that it's really good, and all the music was it was done by a mixture of Augustus the Elephant, a couple other people, and RZA. RZA did for the anime. RZA did a whole bunch of songs for the anime, and then for the game, they brought him back to produce a couple of the beats, I think. And then they had a couple guys come in to rap, and Augustus the Elephant's one of the guys that came in to rap, and he's like a nobody, like. The guy shows up on the scene for Afro Samurai and then disappears, never to be seen again. It's like, dude, what? You did songs with RZA and then you just poofed? Why would you do that, dude? Like,
So
he has like he releases music still, but he's just like never he never rode the wave. He never rode the wave. He just did the thing and was like, that was cool, and then he just went back to whatever he was doing. I don't know why he did that.
he's just out there driving Uber right now. You know, you never know.
I don't know what the guy's doing. Like. His music should get way more views than it does. He only gets like 5-digit amount of views on the stuff that he releases, and he just like has very little social media presence at all for artists, which is very strange. He's just like living life and then just releasing music whenever he wants to release music, I guess. I don't know, but I wish the guy would like actually do real shit and like go on tours and stuff because he's fantastic. But especially with him working with RZA, like you would think that would be like something you would brag about, but he lives in California. So maybe he was just, he's just friends with RZA because he's just like local or something. Maybe that's how he got involved. I have no clue. The whole situation is really weird. The guy was hard to find as it was. And then he changed his name, which made it even harder to find him.
I'm a big Wu-Tang fan. For anybody that didn't know, where we at? Boom! I got the W on the arm there, and so I'm definitely a big Wu-Tang fan. But this Afro Samurai, as soon as you started talking about it, gave me Wu-Tang vibes. You know what I mean? So I started thinking of RZA with Ghost Dog and some of the stuff that he's done over the years, and the Kill Bill series and other things that RZA was kind of affiliated with. And
oh yeah,
and so
yeah, that's a good tattoo.
Right off the bat, I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely giving me Wu-Tang vibes. And so that's cool that as soon as you said you made the connection and said that RZA was involved with it.
Yeah, he produced for the anime. He produced a bunch of songs where he produced the beats and he raps on them. Like he has a song called Combat that's featured in there, and it's got the song Combat's got lines from so Samuel L. Jackson plays a character in Afro Samurai, and so
this wasn't a small budget. This is a big deal.
No, it's a pretty big budget when you have Samuel L. Jackson voicing a main character in it,
and RZA.
Yeah, RZA would have did it probably for free, to be honest, because he just loves that type of shit. He would probably did it for free. But Samuel L. Jackson being like the main narrator is pretty crazy. So I don't know where they got the budget from it. If it was like maybe Samuel L. Jackson was able to bring in, or maybe RZA brought in Samuel L. Jackson as a favor, or like a buddy thing. I have no clue how Samuel L. Jackson got involved in this because I don't know the studio. I don't know if the studio's got other stuff they've done, but yeah, it's a very good game and a very good anime from what I've seen. They've got like a couple movies, and then they've also got the anime as well. But yeah, if I had to recommend a song, the song that really like clicked for me is called Nummify. So if you type in Nummify and then Afro Samurai, that has Augustus the Elephant rapping on it, and that song, to set the tone for the song, you're fighting this character called Akuma, and he's in like an ice fortress, right? Like in the mountains in an ice fortress. And his Akuma it's a dude's body, but he's got a teddy bear head. And I don't mean like a bear head. I mean like a teddy bear head, like gigantic, looks like a teddy bear, but he's got a fucking sword and he's trying to kill you. And you fight him in the game. You fight him in this like icicle castle, and the song Numify starts playing right when you pull up on his crib, and you're like, yeah, I'm about to fucking get Kuma. And it just starts playing the song, and the song just fits the motif perfectly. It sounds like the type of song you would hear in an icicle castle. And then the guy just starts rapping, like he's just fucking going off. And the shit's crazy. If you could play it in the stream, that would be awesome. But that's up to you.
They may go after us, so I'm gonna skip it on this one. But I'm definitely
put the link in the comments or something, because that song is incredible.
I'm going down the rabbit hole after this. I gotta go do a photo shoot for a friend. But I think on my way to work, we're definitely playing some Afro Samurai.
Oh yeah,
because
I'll send you I'll send you my recommendations, the songs that got me into rapping, because there's like 3 particular songs. I'll send you those 3 songs, and then you'll be like, oh shit, well I could see now where you're coming from, where you're not doing, I don't do any of the like money and bitches type rapping. Like I have a couple songs where I kind of just get, as my friend Wooly calls it, get ignorant. I have a couple songs where I get ignorant, but even when I'm getting ignorant, I still have like a lyrical, I still do a lot more lyrical stuff than what most songs that are like party songs would have. And that comes from, because that was what got me into rap, because before that, it was all like Nelly and Chingy and, you know, all that type of stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'm not having any of this. But once I started hearing that lyrical stuff, that was what really sucked me into doing it. I was like, okay, well, there's more to it than just rapping about this vapid topic, you know, the vapid topic of money and bitches. Like you can only rap about money and bitches so many times before you run out of shit to rap about. Whereas like once I heard the Afro Samurai soundtrack, I was like, okay, well, this guy sounds incredible. He's doing like Shakespeare sounding ass rhymes. And so it's like Shakespeare type shit, as the kids would call it.
I mean, we could talk about different money and different bitches. You know what I mean? Like, we
could talk about greenbacks. We could talk. we could talk about De Niro's.
Okay, so are you into sports at all? Because I know game 7 is tonight of the Pacers versus OKC, and so that's kind of a big deal. Are you fucking with any of that?
No, the only thing even close to resembling sports that I'm into is probably UFC. I do like watching UFC every once in a while, but I don't follow it enough to like know who's up on top or anything like that. I just every once in a while I'll pop into a fight if there's a particularly good fight, or same thing with boxing. I like combat sports. I like watching them, but I don't follow them the way that people follow sports, where I'm like, oh, did you catch the game? For me, it's more like I get bored and I'm like, oh, this looks cool. Like, oh, this guy is doing this, fancy dance on, like who's that guy? I can't think. I don't even know anyone's names, but there was a boxer that he would just dance around the stage all crazy. And I like watching stuff like that.
Okay.
Or like with UFC, every once in a while I'll watch whatever the like main fight is, or if there's like a particular fighter. I really like watching the early UFC when they didn't have rules. The early UFC is crazy. You have to watch like the first 5 UFCs. That shit is crazy, dude. They had no rules, no weight classes. They had a fight where they had like a 450-pound sumo wrestler going up against this like 180 soaking wet guy, and he kicks his teeth out. And then like literally on the camera, you can see teeth go flying when he kicks the guy. And they stopped the fight. And then the sumo guy was like, why'd you stop the fight? I was going to keep fighting. And the guy who was like, your teeth got kicked out. What do you mean why'd I stop the fight? And then after that fight, they were like, hey, no more stopping fights, okay? If they get their teeth kicked out, keep going until there's no tapping. You tap, that's it. That was all they had. There was no stoppages in the first UFC. There was no stoppages at all. It was you either tapped or you were out cold. That was the only way the fight was stopping. Or if you're corner. If you're corner through the towel, and they would stop the fight. But there was no stoppages. There was no, oh, you're bleeding too much, we're gonna stop the fight. No, who was that? They did that too. Was it Nate Diaz where they stopped? He was bleeding profusely and they stopped the fight.
Excuse me. Bet you there's another one coming. We'll see if I can hold off. So in big news yesterday, just because you brought up UFC, I watched that Roundtree fight yesterday. I can't remember the other dude he fought, but it was a massive fight. It was good. It was I think it was like 7:00 yesterday. So I was watching it while I was working a little bit, but it was definitely a big deal. But then right after that, in the UFC, there was breaking news that John Jones retired. So
I did see that. Yeah, that wasn't he. Hasn't he had the title for like 2 years and not do anything with it?
Yeah, well, he just fought again within the last year. This last year.
Okay. I thought he was like playing hooky for like a year and a half or something like that. Like, oh, I'm injured, I can't fight. And then Dana White was like, oh, we're not gonna let anyone else have it. That's what I thought the situation was with that. Is I thought he was kind of like hoarding the title, and Dana White was not letting anyone fight him. Oh, because that's my baby. I can't let nobody fight him when he's hurt.
Now, November 2024, so I guess it wasn't quite this year. John Jones fought Stipe Miocic, and John Jones won again. So
Okay.
so he retained it. In 2023, he fought a couple different people. Or he was supposed to fight Stipe back then, but it was canceled. But he did fight.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Is that is probably that fight. Because I remember everyone was complaining Dana White won't let him vacate the title. He's going to make him keep it. He won't vacate it so somebody else can get it, even though he's not fighting anymore.
But yeah. But I mean, John is that dude. You know what I mean? He I believe he is undefeated. So that was there. I think there was one draw. But
yeah, that's a pretty good record. He definitely has a good record. There's a reason he has the title for as long as he did.
Yeah, I take that back. He has 28 wins, 1 loss, and 1 no contest. And so yeah, that's a big deal. For as long as he's been in the UFC, and who can blame him? You know what I mean? If the dude wants to retire and not be punch drunk, as they say, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, 28 fights is not a lot of fights for UFC, but he's also heavyweight, right? Heavyweight, I imagine they probably don't do as many fights because they probably have longer recovery times. Would be my guess. Is they're not spring chickens and they're heavier, so they're hitting harder, which means they got to recover for longer. And so I could see 28 fights even being taxing. But what didn't Conor McGregor have like 53 or something like that?
So John Jones fought in light heavyweight until recently moving to full heavyweight to fight Stipe.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, Connor's fight record was 22 wins. 6 losses. He has 19 wins by TKO and 1 by submission.
Okay. Who am I thinking that's 53? Is that maybe that's a boxer? Is that damn, who's that boxer? Who fought Manny Pacquiao? I can't think of his name. Where he hugged him the whole time. He was the
Mayweather?
camp or something.
Floyd
Mayweather. Yeah, Floyd Mayweather. He has 53, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of where the 53 came from. Yeah, that's who I was thinking of who has 53. So yeah, maybe boxing they just have more matches then.
Yeah, it looks like Jim Miller has the most UFC fights. He has 46 fights according
46.
to
Okay, so that makes sense. That UFC probably has less fights then. That makes more sense. So 28 is probably a lot then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking of boxing.
Cowboy Donald Cerrone has 38 fights.
That guy's hilarious.
Charles Oliveira has 34 fights. Diego Sanchez has 32.
What's Nate Diaz got? He's got to have quite a few. How much that guy runs his mouth? There's no way he's not fighting a lot.
Diaz brothers will get down.
Yeah, they do.
They intertwine with hip hop. So Nate Diaz has a professional mixed martial arts record of 22 wins, 13 losses. He is known for his aggressive fighting style, particularly his jiu-jitsu skills, and has had a successful career in the UFC.
He had 13 losses?
I mean, he fights a lot.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's a lot of fucking losses.
That's 35 fights, though.
Yeah, that's a lot of fights. I'm surprised he lost as much. I guess that's probably why he's the only ever gets talked about when it's the Conor McGregor fight.
Yeah, 20. Well, and that was a huge fight, but 22 wins by knockout and 14 by submission, 13 losses with 2 by knockout and 1 by submission. He has notable victories over fighters like Tony Ferguson, Anthony Pettis, and then the loss to Leon Edwards and Jorge Masvidal.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah, and then the fight with
Pierre is cool to watch too. Pierre's an old school, almost an old school UFC guy. He's cool to watch too, especially after that interview he did where he's like, "Yeah, Joe Rogan showed me how to kick, and now I could kick better."
I believe it. Rogan's nasty with the kick.
Yeah,
but he learned that in Taekwondo.
Yeah, there's a video of Rogan kicking the bag in front of Pierre, and Rogan's like, "No, you got to kick like this. You got to snap you got to snap like this. You got to snap your hips." And he hits the bag, and it sounds like a gunshot going off. And then you could just see Pierre like, "Oh, maybe I'll do that next time." And then the next time he does it, it's like, and then he like did an interview. He was like, "Yeah, after Joe Rogan showed me how to kick, my kicks got better." And I was like, "Oh, that's fucking crazy." The guy that's a podcaster showing the UFC fighters how to kick better.
Well, I mean, Rogan does have a black belt in Taekwondo that he earned when he
Yeah.
was a young man, and then
Yeah,
he
he was
also
in like 19 or something, wasn't he?
yeah, and then he also has a purple belt, I want to say, in jiu-jitsu.
That makes sense. Yeah, because his buddy Eddie Bravo has was it 12th Planet, I think it's called.
Yep.
Yeah, I loosely follow UFC, but I'm like up and up on weird stuff with UFC, but then like current matches, I have no fucking clue what's going on.
So it says Rogan holds black belts in both 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He earned his 10th Planet black belt from Eddie Bravo and his Brazilian black belt from Jean Jacques Machado. Rogan's dedication to martial arts, particularly Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, is well known, and he frequently discusses it on his podcast. But then he's definitely a black belt in Taekwondo because he obtained that at a young age.
Yeah, there's video of him when he was a kid, when he was like 19 or 20 or something, doing matches. There's videos of that.
Yeah, and he traveled all over the country fighting in Taekwondo competitions. So
yep. Yeah, speaking of Eddie Bravo, have you seen the Eddie Bravo? Damn, what is that guy's name? The like
the
whole
Kid
family.
Podcast?
The whole family that started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I can't think of their name off the top of my head.
Yeah.
The Gracies. Yeah. Eddie Bravo, when he fought one of the Gracies, like the older brother. And that fight is crazy. If you want to see a really, really good fight, it went to time, if I remember correctly. But the Gracies don't tap. That's just like the older brother. He just doesn't tap as like principle. I don't know if he's actually feeling pain or if he just doesn't tap because he doesn't want to or what. But Eddie Bravo had him in some crazy like electrical chair shit, and that motherfucker was not tapping for anything. And Eddie Bravo's got that crazy rubber guard going on, and Gracie can't break it. But Bravo also can't get Gracie to tap because apparently Gracie doesn't tap. The older brother Gracie, I think it's
Royler.
Yeah, Royler doesn't tap. That's just like his thing. Is nobody taps him ever for no reason. It doesn't matter like how crazy the submission is. That guy just doesn't tap apparently. And so him and Bravo are going at it, and Bravo's got him in this crazy electric chair. And he looks like he's going to tap at any second, and then he never does. It's crazy. That fight is insane.
That's wild. It looks like it was from back in 2003.
Yeah, it went to time because he couldn't break Bravo. There was no way he was going to get in through Bravo's rubber guard. So it was just a matter of attrition, and Gracie has the stamina because he doesn't tap. So even if he's in like excruciating pain, he just doesn't tap anyways. And so Bravo couldn't get the finish on him, and Gracie was never going to break through rubber guard. So it was just a stalemate. Wow. But it's a really good fight. It's a really, really good fight.
A couple of straight gladiators just throwing down.
Yeah, it's what is it when an immovable object meets an unstoppable force?
Yes. For sure. Okay, so let's get back into hip hop a little more. All right. So where are you planning on taking it this year? You got some new singles. When's the new album come out? Do you have a release date?
I don't have a date for it because I don't have the features back yet. So I'm not announcing the album until I have all the songs in hand and at least the rough mixes finished.
Oh, shit, we just announced the album.
Well, I mean, like a date. Like I don't want to put a date out there and not have all the songs ready. Because I had a buddy, Taman Ray, out in Sioux City, where he released an EP and he put a date out for it, but he was still waiting for a feature back, and he literally got the feature back at the last day possible that he could before he had to submit the album. And so I learned from that, maybe I shouldn't put a date out there until I have all the songs in hand, especially with features, because you never know when features are going to get back to you or if features drop off or whatever. And so I'm working on the album and I'm releasing singles because I've got like 15 songs that are done. So I can release plenty of singles to build up to it and to build the hype for the album while I'm doing these shows. So I'm going and doing shows to also promote the album. So that way, when it drops, all these people I've been networking and talking to, they're going to actually go and check it out. And so I've got like 15 songs done already on the album. It's probably going to have about 15, maybe like 17. I got to figure out what songs I want to release as singles and what songs I want to release as singles, but on the album. Cause I have a couple songs that just don't fit the album that I did for the album. But then now that I've got the most of the album, I'm like, okay, well, this doesn't really fit in with the album anymore, but I still did the song. So I'm still going to release it as a single and just use that as promo for the album. And just to have like more music out there, because the last thing before the song Mask Off, the last thing I released was in like December of 2019 or something like that, or 2020, I think it was. And so it's been like 5 years since I released anything. And so I just need to get some music out there because I got a lot of music I've been sitting on because I've been working on stuff the whole time and just haven't released anything because I don't want to, with the frequency that I release music, since I do everything myself, videos, beats, mixing, recording, all that stuff, I can't. Yeah, it's time consuming and I'm DJing. So I don't have time to do like a song every couple weeks type of frequency. So I just have to do albums and then just release singles up to the album.
My homie Newsom out in LA does that too. He's an animator for the Avatar series.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. We grew up together. He's a good dude. But he does all his own artwork. He animates videos for him and stuff and animate and draws the cover art and everything by hand. And so it's a huge investment for him to drop a single. And so he tries to get a couple of them on the back burner. That way he's got ample time to schedule stuff out and kind of keep it moving.
Yep, exactly. To give time to promote and all that stuff and not also be trying to make the songs at the same time. That's like the big thing is once I start releasing stuff, then I need to pump the brakes on making music and do more performances so I can promote the album.
For sure. Okay, so what else you got planned going on this year? You got any you gonna do anything fun?
Yeah, like non-music stuff.
Yeah, well, or music. You know, any big concerts or tours you're looking forward to, or or just stuff in general?
I'm really looking forward to. And it's actually the next show I have coming up on July 12th. It's gonna be in Des Moines, so it's gonna be in town for you. I'm DJing a dance battle competition. So downtown, right downtown, there's a dance studio, and they're doing a dance battle competition. I'm going to be DJing, so it's going to be like b-boys, like old school dance. So
dope.
Like breakers. It's breakers. I couldn't think of the name. Yeah, it's a break dance competition. Yep, the Des Moines Breakers. They're having a show on the 12th downtown, and so.
Dave, you'll have to send me the flyer for it, and I'll have to check it out because I have not seen that. So I'll definitely have to help promote that a little bit. I mess with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up my website because I've got it on there. This is my website, by the way, Blackfeather LLC.
Okay.
.net.
Looks good, bro. Looks good.
And so this is you're not gonna be able to see it very well on here, but I'll send you the flyer. I can just read it off of here. So it's at it's at Ballet Des Moines. It's downtown. It's gonna be the 12th. I'm gonna be DJing it, and it's a breakdance competition. It's open, so anyone who wants to come can join. If you're a breaker, you can just come walk in, and I think it's like $10 to join. And we've got prizes. They've got a lot of cool judges coming, and there's some names. I don't know if they've released them yet, so I'm not going to say the names, but they've got some pretty big breakers coming to judge. So
that's cool.
Hopefully going to be a good time.
That's cool. I'll have to put my homie Buttafuoco up on it. He's a big breaker and one of the hip hop pioneers out of LA. It's been doing.
Oh yeah. If you got homies that dance, send them out.
Okay. Yeah. Shout out to the Floor Spiders. I know y'all get down in Iowa, so big up to them. Okay. I'm looking forward to this Thuggish Ruggish Bone tour in Chicago. We caught a date with that. We're gonna go out and kick it and have some fun. That's Tech 9.
Nice.
Yeah, Tech 9 along with I mean it's a stack lineup. 3-6 Mafia, Bone Thugs and Harmony, DJ Quick, and I'm expecting Twista to show up. I'm just gonna speak that into existence now, just because it's Chicago, and I believe Twista has songs with Bone, Tech 9.
Oh, of course he does. He has songs to everybody. Especially from back in that era.
Right. So I'm expecting Twista to show up. It says there'll be some special guests in the house. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That should be a good one. And then that Kings of the West tour in downtown Des Moines should be pretty fun too. So, yeah, man. So everything's good with me. Me and Ray got a bunch of singles coming together. I'm doing some production for the homie Kyler Tobias, and then I'm working.
He's getting back in, huh?
He is. Kyler Tobias is coming back out. So I got 3 or 4 tracks I produced for him. We're doing EmceeTV presents Kyler Tobias, and so that's on the radar. It may be a little ways out. I'm not sure exactly. I mean, he's already starting to write, and he's got a couple of them knocked down already. But yeah, we're
Good.
just.
He needs to get back into it, man. It's sad seeing him not doing music because he really needs to do music. I think that keeps him afloat, honestly.
Yeah, I think it helps with it just helps drive him, you know what I mean? He likes to have
he needs that motivation for sure.
Little goal on the horizon. But yeah, man, it'll be dope to see him drop some new shit. Ray's constantly working. Ray is always out there doing new stuff. So keep checking for him. And yeah, I think we end it here. We leave him thirsty for the next one, and then we'll bring it back.
I know how to make him really thirsty. The next time we get together, we got to do a live studio session, do a start to scratch. Both of us produce the beat, and then I'll do some rapping. Maybe we'll get you to do some rapping.
Oh shit! Tie your shoelaces, cause y'all in for a ride.
That'd be fun, yes. But yeah, just do a live stream. Just take a whole day and just get together and just make something from scratch, from the bones up.
That's right.
Do a live stream for it, and then everyone can see our process and how we write, how we make beats, come up with it. I like to sample, so maybe we'll find some stuff that we can sample just for shits and giggles. I really like to sample stuff.
Hell yeah. All right, bro. Well, I appreciate you jumping on the podcast. As always, we appreciate everybody watching, tuning in, sharing, liking, commenting.
Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, definitely. We dropped some details in the description down below, so you can follow up with the homie SkyKrow and stay up to date on what he has going on. His website is down there. We'll update that with the IG and Facebook in case you want to check in with him on there. Until next time, it's your boy, that motherfucker Steve. That's the homie SkyKrow, and we out, y'all.
See ya.
Peace.
We've been known to snatch a piece or two. Y'all can't take over cause we gon' eat the you. Rock steady like a ginger brought Aretha through. This shit torture and I'ma keep feeding you. On that East Coast shit, y'all better duck down. Price on his dome, 5 on it like yuck mouth. When the plug get knocked, that's when the price jump. American Nightmare, that's where the Spice One. Rappers running like Ricky in the alleyway. Putting an end to the week, no Saturday. They want static, get it shaking like Cassius Clay. Passionate thugs mixing Douce with Alizé.
Don't play with us. Them moves ain't got you safe enough. Yellow fuck 'em like Smokey off the angel dust. My life so real, sounds like I made it up. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up. Dangerous, softer than a razor's touch. We hit that script and get the cake up. God hate ugly, so ain't no saving us. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up.
Big balls don't